And good evening, everyone. We want to begin tonight with heavy hearts as our good friend and longtime Local 12 anchor John Lomax has passed away.
For 40 years, he was the heart and soul of this television station because he so freely shared his heart and soul with all of us and all of you.
And so we are dedicating much of our time with you tonight in loving tribute to our dear friend, John.
Our colleagues who work with John on Good Morning Cincinnati are, as you would expect, shocked and heartbroken this evening. A short time ago, I spoke with John's longtime co-anchor, Bob Herzog.
First off, I'm so sorry. I loved him too. And I know you worked with him even longer than I did. I had such a short stint on a morning show with him 24 years ago. And it's one of the highlights of my career after all that time. And I know you feel the same way, Bob.
Yeah, sorry.
No.
For as important as the work was, and what a mentor he was to me. He was like, he was kind of like a second dad to me, a lot. And when I lost my dad, I can remember turning to John, about things that I used to turn to my dad for, and questions and things. And so, yeah, I saw him a couple, maybe 3 weeks ago. We, group of us from the morning show got together, had lunch. He seemed great. He was happy, spending so much time with the grandkids, and things like that. And I texted him this weekend because Kentucky was playing Tennessee, and I wanted him to know, he's always welcome to show up and hang out with my family, but not to do it in volunteer orange on Saturday. But yeah.
I remember you talking about him when he retired, about how he was so fatherly towards you, and he knew your kids so well. He watched your kids grow up and he gave you advice, and he was so proud of your kids and his kids.
Yeah, he remembers distinctly when my youngest was born, because I had started on the morning show by that point. And so he literally has seen Emma grow up, and would just always ask me how all the kids were doing. How's Chloe doing? How's Sam doing? How's Danny doing? And they each got, little moments here and there to interact with him themselves over the years. And I know they think that's really special, that time that they got. And they certainly have heard me tell stories about him enough times that I'm sure they felt like they knew him even more than they did, just by virtue of the stories that I would tell.
Yeah, and the morning crew is such a close, special place. We are feeling so much for Sheila and Bob and all the gang this morning, and the people who'd been there before. Adam, I know, is grieving. Cammie, and John, you worked with him on the morning show for so many years.
I'm numb.
Yeah.
Tonight, only finding out just a little over 90 minutes ago. I'm going between being numb and crying, and it's back and forth. And I want to thank everyone who reached out tonight to the family here at Local 12, because that's what this is here. And John was like one of the leaders of our family.
Yeah.
We called him the Godfather.
For good reason.
For good reason. And as Bob said, he was a fatherly figure to so many of us here. Just a man filled with so much wisdom, so incredibly intelligent. He was a National Merit Scholar, and we talked about that. He was just one of these extraordinary human beings that no matter what your problem was, no matter what piece of advice you needed, he had an answer. And I'm going to tell you guys, when you see your friends, hug your friends, tell them you love them.
Yeah.
That was opening day.
Look at that. We all remember that so well.
I was going to say, I didn't work with him nearly as long as either of you did, but this is the memory that I think will stay with me forever, because it was his last opening day, and everyone knew that he was retiring maybe less than a month after this. And when we stepped off from Findlay Market until the end of that parade, it was like he was the only person on the route. Good luck in retirement, John. Thank you so much. And I think that was the thing that was really touching, was that people were saying thank you for all of your years of service, and they were so happy that he was going to get to throw away that alarm clock and get to relax. And he was so appreciative. You often don't see people receive that type of energy, those type of compliments, and he was receiving those, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, that made me smile tonight, seeing that. I remember that day so well.
Yeah.
And when the two of you were hugging, I knew that was a moment. That was so real.
It was
and
real,
genuine,
and I told him I loved him. I gave him a hug, and it was a long hug, and this is one of his pocket squares.
Yeah.
When he retired, he said, "I don't need these anymore," and he left bags of ties,
I got some,
and handkerchiefs and pocket squares around, and so We've got these. Bob said he's going to wear one of John's ties tomorrow morning.
You have one of the ties?
I have
right?
one. My husband has one. He was passing them out at his retirement party.
He was a well-dressed man.
Well, and he appreciated clothes. He would say that too. He'd say, "Tony, you got a deep closet. I like that." And he like our matching. And he was all about so many things, art and
Photography.
photography and cars. And on the morning show, when things are being put together so quickly, he was sharp, awake. He's checking everyone's grammar and spelling. And if you needed to think of something that happened 30 years ago, he'd be April of whatever. His mind was amazing.
It was. And the thing about John, as I said, he was a leader here at the station. He was the person on that. When you're on the morning show, as I said at 10 o'clock when we talked about this, you're with people for hours on end, much longer than us three are together. And so you'd better love the people that you're with. And everybody loved John. And he was the glue that held everything together. And one of the leaders of this television station for so long, one of the leaders of our family here. And I know we've got a lot of new faces, and we've got a lot of different people on air now, but it's that same philosophy that he has had, that we are a family, and this is how we're going to do things together, that I think is going to continue with us, because he taught us so much. And when you needed something, you needed a little advice, you needed a little pep talk. He had this sense of what you needed. So when I went to the morning show in 2008, I had some big shoes to fill. He took me aside and he said, "Hey, you can do this. I see your talent. I see what you can do. This is your moment." And when I came to evenings, he gave me the same kind of talk. He knew that I needed that. And that was his unique ability. So wise, so intelligent, and able to connect with people, and so universally loved in this city.
Yeah.
We sure saw that at the parade. He would stop every bit he could along the way, take a selfie or a picture with someone and shake their hand, look into their eyes. And he meant it, and people were just, like you said, they were giving them the love, and he was taking it in. It was a wonderful day.
They were giving him his flowers. I'm thinking of his family tonight. Understandably, they're going through a difficult time, but his kids were just so incredible. I didn't get to know his son very well, but I got to work with his daughter, who works for the Cincinnati Fire Department, and I didn't realize it was Mr. Lomax's daughter at first, and then she introduced herself and said that Mr. Lomax was her father, and she was such a reflection of him. She was so warm. She was so caring. She was amazing and so helpful. And I just said to her, I'm like, "You are so much like your father, Lindsay." And I know he was so proud of both of his kids and his grandkids, and he loved his wife so much. So your heart just breaks for them and for all of the people that he's worked with over the years. You too, that morning show. Cammie, I know Cammie loved John so much. I remember on her last day, it was only fitting that he came in and was the one sitting by her, because they were so close for so many years.
There wasn't a dry eye that day with the two of them.
No.
And
the other thing I'll say about John is what you saw on TV was what he was. That is the person he was. It was true. It was genuine. And just like he could connect with people sitting at a table, he was able to connect through the camera that way too, and that was one of his great gifts, I think.
I want to say thank you to his family for letting him stay in town on that morning show. He could have gone anywhere,
Yeah.
and he loved it here. And he didn't like getting up early, I don't think, but he liked the morning show, and he gave so much to it. And I'm so thankful that he was able to do that.
I'm glad that Donna, Lindsay, and Brandon
Thank you.
and the grandchildren shared him with
did.
us, because what a gift he was in all of our lives.
We're going to be hearing so much more throughout, I know, tomorrow and the morning show. I know they're going to be sharing their thoughts. We're here for them if they need us to help them through it. Give them a little grace. There'll probably be some tears and some pauses, and that's okay.
Understandably so.
Yeah, but we will move on. But we want to thank you. This just broke a couple of hours ago, and immediately we began hearing from so many of you here at the station on social media, sending your thoughts and prayers to his wife, daughter, son, grandchildren, and for the whole Local 12 family. And one more thing, I have never heard anyone say anything bad about John, and
No.
I don't know that I can say that about another human.
Universally loved,
So-
and when you're on television, that's not the case
No,
usually.
And
as you know.
he could transcend all of that and just make everyone respect him and tune in. And we appreciate all of you for those thoughts and prayers. We'll have more coverage on Local 12 News tomorrow morning again, and on all our social
Social media
platforms as well.
platforms.
And with that, we'll take a little pause.
Have you ever messed up on TV?
Did you watch this morning? Yeah. I watch, you know, when you're on for about 4 hours every day, the capacity for messing up is very large. And I do so. But, you know, I figure the audience is kind of forgiving and that sort of thing. So I hope they are. Anyway.